I'm Jane Midgley, a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living. I'm also completing my ministerial training with Centers for Spiritual Living, and I will be licensed as a minister in a month. It is my great pleasure and honor to serve this community. I love anything to do with the heavens and with astronomy. And one of my favorite experiences with that was some years ago when my sister and I went camping at Chaco Canyon here in New Mexico. And during the day, we would explore the canyon, the ruins, and at night we could go to a building where the ranger would allow us to look through a telescope at the stars and the planets. And it was particularly inspiring because Chaco Culture Historical Park has made a decision to be light pollution free. And it's a status that you can achieve. So there's virtually no lights there at night. And so what you can see is more than we normally can of the heavens. When I had that experience, and when I do get to see that level of stars and the heavens, I feel this deep sense of oneness with all. And perhaps it's because astrophysicists tell us that we are literally stardust. The material in our molecules comes from cosmic phenomena. And this truth leads us to knowing it's one of the proofs that everything is made of this stardust, that everything is part of this one creation, the one divine energy that is in the back of all of it, that is in, through, and around everything. And there truly is only one. Knowing that we're connected to everything, we're existing within this one divine energy, can feel the way it felt to me at Chaco, that deep sense of oneness, just deepness within that knowing. However, this also means that we're intrinsically connected to every other human being. And they are part of the oneness. And we are actually one with every human being on the planet. That can be difficult right now because we all have our different perspectives on this and judgments and way of getting to it. But a lot of us are perceiving there's humans acting crazy right now in so many different ways. How could we be one with them? That's not me. They are part of the oneness. They are infused with the same power that we are of this one divine energy. We are one with them. And this is a great place to stand as we look at what is ours to do, because this isn't about being in the oneness doesn't mean you don't still show up and be love in action, taking action in the world. That is our mission here at the Albuquerque Center for Spiritual Living, love in action. So we still want to take those actions that are ours individually to take, because this one power, one energy, the divine oneness that is in, through, and around us gives us unlimited power to shape our world and our lives. That has to come through us as action, and yet if we do not do it from within the oneness, from within knowing that every human is within that oneness, then we're very likely to contribute to the separation, to the feeling of separation, to the reality of separation between humans that we're all suffering so much for right now. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, says, talk, live, act, believe and know that you are a center in this one. All the power there is, all the presence there is, all the love there is, all the peace there is, all the good there is omnipresent. Consequently, the infinite is in and through everything. So you are part of this everything. We are part of this everything. And so we have all of this to bring to the world, this unlimited, infinite power to bring to the world, to shape it. How do we believe and know that we're a center in this one? Because that's the tricky part, isn't it? That I can know it in Chaco at night, looking at the wonder of the heavens. But how do we act from there more and more and more, stand in that grounding, knowing the oneness with all as we act? How do we do that? Because we're going to get caught up in the human stuff. That's part of the trip here. And we've all got our own versions of challenges and things that we're trying to understand how we can use to be a positive evolution for ourselves and others. And we don't want to skip over the reality. We don't want to skip over the emotions that come up, the grief that so many are feeling right now, the loss that we've all experienced. We need to give that space. We need to be self-loving in the way of caring for ourselves, of course. And we want to keep bringing ourselves back to knowing our inherent power, and that this one energy is working through us to bring everything into more alignment with that truth of oneness, so that we can create a world that works for everyone. We are so fortunate to have a spiritual technology that assists us with this. This is like the perennial question, how do we keep coming back to that grounding in the truth and acting from that? And we have an amazing spiritual technology that has been passed down to us, a tool to enable us to do this. And it's called Affirmative Prayer. And it is an unusual form of prayer that we have been gifted with. And one of our spiritual ancestors, Emma Curtis Hopkins, speaks to the power of the words and the form of affirmative prayer when she says this: you can quell the very roughness of the ocean storm by sending your steady word of peace over the waters. They will respond. To stand still and hold on to one statement when another statement seems to have the whole battle is to become a skilled workman. When the storm faces the ship, if she is a good one, she ignores the storm and pulls all sound and clean into port. This is the power of our word spoken in affirmative prayer to actually bring into being that which we want to experience and share with the world and be in the world and create in the world, because the creative energy of this one is available to us to use in whatever way we choose to use it. However, we must use it. And this affirmative prayer provides us the structure for how to do that. These other statements that seem to have the whole battle that Emma is referring to. So though in the storms, we're pulled in so many directions, and our minds can convince us that something is real or has power over us that doesn't, or it can bring us into the depths of despair and depression, thinking that that is the only place we can dwell. And it brings us into apparent separation from the oneness. It doesn't feel good when that happens. But we can interpret things differently when we're standing in that knowing of our power, when we're standing in knowing there is only one. Emma also identifies the uniqueness of our affirmative version of prayer. The only difference between our prayers and the old Orthodox prayers is that we pray as if we have already received the blessings instead of begging for them. As we stand in the oneness, as we're praying, as we know we've already received the blessings, as we're praying, we feel that we've already received the blessings and we already do have them as we believe we have them. We are reshaping our lives and reshaping our world. As I learned more about affirmative prayer over the years, and what an amazingly powerful tool it was, I used it to address part of my own personal journey. I, for years, had a pattern where I would attract lots of financial abundance and feel really good about all of that. And then I would have periods where I would have lots of lack and struggle attracting enough cash flow and then turning to some debt and just getting into a place of suffering around finances. And at one point I said, I don't want to go through this cycle anymore. I do not want this anymore. I want to create a new pattern for myself for my relationship with finances. And I knew that I could use affirmative action as a tool in this. And so I began speaking in my affirmative prayers. I am at peace with money. This was one of the main things that I did. I am at peace with money. And then I might give some more details about what that meant. And then after I would pray that, I would, if I had time, journal about what would it be like to have a life where I was at peace with money, completely at peace now and for the rest of my life. And as I did that, the prayer, as I moved my feet, as we say, because once again, this isn't about just dwelling in the oneness, dwelling in the knowing of the truth, but taking action, being proactive for what it is that we want to create, because that one power of creativity is coming through us as we act. I began to take different actions. My behavior changed in relationship to money. And as my behavior changed, things started to turn. And my ship was able to pull all sound and clean into port. This took some time, but I made steady progress. And now I do have a relationship of peace with money. And beautiful, amazing blessings are coming from that. So a few things about affirmative prayer. It isn't a mind thing. It's a full-bodied, coming straight from your heart thing. And this might sound a little odd because the name of our tradition is Science of Mind. And we also refer to affirmative prayer as spiritual mind treatment. But the founders of our tradition did not mean by mind the same thing that we mean. They really meant the universal presence. And so that is what we are experiencing in affirmative prayer, full-bodied. We're knowing it at every possible level. So we want to bring in emotion and imagination and paint the picture so that we are bringing it into being right there in the moment. We must believe that the power exists. So this is that one power that's coming through us. We got it all going on. We must believe that power exists, that we're one with it, and we want to know exactly what we want to use it for. So there's that clarity. And usually we do know the next thing that's coming that we want to create or evolve in our life. So bring that forward into the affirmative prayer. But we can also, and it's great to pray for qualities and to expand within our life. Love, peace, joy, unity. That's wonderful. And that sometimes is what comes up in our prayer. But we can also get very specific about what we want to bring and create into our life. And so we can use it for very specific purposes. And the more we're clear about the purpose and knowing it's already happening, the more we're assisting the creative forces to work, to bring it to us in the most amazing ways. We want to feel the desire that we're bringing forth in our prayers already accomplished without getting attached to the results. So this can be tough, right? We like to know how things are happening, and we also can be like, you can declare something in your prayer, be like, how is that ever going to happen? That's crazy, Doc. Or just you just can't see that it's possible for you. And this can even be going on in your thoughts during the prayer, which is fine. But we don't want to be attached to exactly how it shows up or to the results, because we want to allow for the possibility that could be even greater than we could imagine. And the universe will bring it to us in a perfectly customized way. And in divine timing. So we can't get too attached to the timing, too attached to the results. And that's why the feeling piece of it is so, so important. If you don't know what you want prayer for, because sometimes it's like, I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. And often we don't. Pray for clarity. I get the guidance I need right now. I have the clarity of my next step of evolution, and it is happening now. That can be your prayer. And finally, we infuse the prayer with life, energy, and deep knowing. And then once again, we've got to move our feet and take action. And we've got to show that we are proactive for it. But here's the really cool thing. When we're in that oneness, we're praying, we're declaring our next great, beautiful creation. When we come out of the prayer, we can really look at what is an inspired action. We can take that action. It's going to come from more within the oneness, within the trust of ourselves, within the knowing the truth of ourselves. So we want to take inspired action towards our creations. But that's essential. And once again, we can't pray in the world that works for everyone only. That's a very important part of it. And we've got to take action and trust these inspired actions that they have come from that amazing oneness that has everything we need to thrive. So just briefly reviewing the 5 steps of affirmative prayer. And the last several weeks we've been spending looking at lots of spiritual practices. And so we're looking at affirmative prayer today. But of course, like I mentioned before, my journaling and meditating goes right along with prayer. So find your own cohort that works for you all through all these practices. So the 5 steps are, the first step is recognition. There is only one, recognizing and describing it, how it's appearing to you today. The second is unification. I am one with the one. It is in, through, and around me. It is all I am, as it is all that of all existence. And once again, use your words that come forth for you that day. The third step is realization. This is where we speak our next step of evolution, what it is we desire to experience, infused with the feelings, the imagination, that heart energy. This is where we speak it, and we're literally bringing it into being here. So just that feeling part of it, that's the realization. The fourth step is gratitude. That's where we're grateful for this knowing of the oneness, that there is only one. We're grateful for our life within it, and we're grateful for the realization of what we have spoken today. The fifth step is release. We're releasing it to God to handle all the details, like we talked before. We're releasing attachment to the results or the timing, knowing it's going to be so beautiful and perfectly customized for us. So this week, I would like to ask all of us to use affirmative prayer every day this week. So it might be for a small thing one day. It might be for a large thing. It might be longer in some days or shorter in some days. But let's really pull this tool out and use it to the greatest extent we can this week and see how that feels to be doing it. It helps to speak the prayers out loud. However, Ernest Holmes said you don't have to speak it out loud. It's in your heart, but it must be speaking loudly in your heart, from your heart. If you would like to have a practitioner, if you would like to have someone pray with or for you, you can reach out to our licensed spiritual practitioners, set up a prayer session, and they will help you know the truth of yourself within any situation in your life, or you can submit a prayer request online. Also, if you would like to really up your game around affirmative prayer and get some more practice and perhaps learn for the first time if you're new, we have a spirit group that starts right now called the Art of Prayer and Practice, and you're very welcome to join. You'll be getting more information about how you can sign up for all these things. There's a Hindu mantra called the Pavamana Mantra that expresses the journey we go through as we use affirmative prayer. Lead me from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let's anchor this in prayer. There is one universal presence that is active right now. It is infusing all forms and all beings with the peace that is at the heart of all of it. It is broadcasting the Om, that is the oneness, oneness, oneness broadcast behind everything that is happening. And I know that this immense universal presence is a force for good, is spreading beauty and truth everywhere. And it is infusing all circumstances with an uplifting, golden, amazing energy. So as I am knowing that, as I am hearing this Om oneness vibration right this moment and feeling it vibrate within my own being, I am knowing that this vibration is who I am. I have this unity, this oneness, this power, this infinite goodness within me right here, right now. And it is what I am expressing. as I step into just existing right now within that unified vibration, I know for sure that every person hearing this is getting the clarity, the absolute opening into their next beautiful expression and evolution, the next creative project for their life that will bless themselves and bless the world. It is happening right now. All the doors are flinging open for everything to be fulfilled, for each person, their heart's desire. And I know this is happening right now. And it is joy and peace and love and beauty and truth and justice all at once, expressing this deep, deep knowing that we are all connected, we are all powerful, we are all reshaping our world so that it works for everyone. And I am deeply grateful for this experience of this oneness today, for the knowing that the clarity of the next evolution of everyone is happening right now, right here, and for life itself. So I release my word to God, I let it go, I let it be, and so it is.
My name is Dino. I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner here at the center, and I just wanted to bring to your attention prayer opportunities that the center provides for our community. If you have the opportunity to log on to our website at ABQCSL.org, you'll find a tab about us. You can click on that tab and leave your prayer for us. The practitioners and the ministers of the center will hold you in prayer for the week. Also, prayer at abqcsl.org. You can leave your prayer there as well. I wanted to share a little this morning with you of my ongoing relationship with my kitty cat, Junior. I've been trying to get Junior to stay inside with me a little more. I just love his company, but he has a tendency to think he's a mountain lion and he likes to be outside. So I found some music that was available online that assured me that I could get my cat to calm down and stay inside and sleep. So I played the music for Junior and relaxed. And before I knew it, I fell asleep. And when I woke, Junior was just looking at me with those big blue eyes, wondering what the heck's going on. So I would appreciate your prayer, your affirmations, whatever you can send into the universe for me and Junior that he wants to spend a little more time with me. I would appreciate that. I'm going to take the last two steps of affirmative prayer, thanksgiving and release, and ask you to join me in prayer. Grateful for this moment. Grateful for this day. Grateful for this time together. Grateful for life itself. We invite you to drop into your heart center, into the sanctuary of life itself within. To know a peace that endures all. To know a love that is always available. To know that we are one in this one space that is available to us always. We find the love in this space of spirit that allows us to reach out into our community, to reach out to others in prayer, in affirmation of the truth of who we are, whole and complete, always loved unconditionally. And in this space, it is with deep gratitude that our heart grows and grows and grows with delight. I think about the stars falling on the pillow on which you lay, the affirmations we place as we fall to sleep, for everyone that we know that needs our prayer, that needs our affirmation of goodwill and perfect health. For everyone that has submitted a prayer request card prior to this moment, those of you that leave your prayer, your affirmation on your pillows, we pray in gratitude. We release these words into the universe, into the creative field of life, into the law, knowing that as we speak them, they continue to manifest. And so it is. Thank you so much. At this time, we'd like to close our service with an affirmation. If you join me in speaking it, it would be wonderful. Today I claim my divine inheritance by affirming my oneness with all that is good. And so it is. Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday. Namaste.